Armed police, their guns trained on the suspected attacker.
Get back! If you're not involved, move back! Get away! Somebody stay with integrity! Everybody else! He has a bomb! Go away!
He's got a bomb on him! Bomb? Mate, he's got a...
They try to get members of the public away.
Man, he's got a bomb on him!
Holy shit, there's blood in this? Let me see.
Mate, he's stabbed him. No, he's got a bomb! Get
yeah, I'm gonna skip ahead.
Lies on the floor.
Mate, if he detonates...
Holy shit, I'm gonna skip ahead because it does have the... I'll make sure everything else is fine. Yeah, okay. I do attempt to follow the terms of service and not get in trouble and say things that are bad.
It is shattering.
Today, like I said, being an auspicious high holy day, with all fastnesses at 6:30 last night, you want to feel secure, you want to be able to go to places and feel that you can just walk around and do what you can do.
It's ridiculous, honestly. I don't know what goes through people's minds when they target innocent people. It's just...
They're insane. Like, I'm sorry, but like if you're wearing a suicide vest and you crashed your car into a religious place and you go in there to stab and kill people with a knife, you are insane. Yeah, you're insane. Like, that's it. Like, they're nuts. And I think that what happens is that a lot of, I think, religious extremism, and this is extremism in general, counts on having those insane people in their ranks in order to execute different things like this.
It doesn't sit right with me.
I've never been frightened. I've been in shelters, sirens, army bases, bombed at in First Gulf War, Second Gulf War, served in the army there.
Wow.
I've never been scared.
There you go. You heard that?
And today I'm scared.
This woman was in the army and she wasn't scared then. That's awful. Holy fuck. Jesus. What the hell is going on?
That noise you hear as she's talking, to people already on edge, they speculated was the sound of a controlled explosion. Barely 100 meters from the scene, police sealed off another street. One neighbor here reported seeing people being detained. Police have confirmed 2 arrests.
This attack has been officially declared as a terrorist incident.
I do really think this is substantial, that they have already decided and figured out like what the intent was. Usually it takes them like a day or like at least probably like 12 hours to even come out with anything like that. How do you explain to many of these crazy people coming out of Islam? I think there's a lot of ways to explain it. I mean, you have like, obviously like one way. And I mean, if you're trying to get me to condemn Islam categorically, I'm not going to do that. I think that extremist Islam is bad for sure. I mean, absolutely it's bad. I wouldn't want to live in a country with Sharia law either, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to condemn all of them as being wrong. But I think also you have like, I'm just going to give you one example, right? There's way more Muslims. So the probability of somebody who's a Muslim doing something bad is higher by default because there's more of them. So even if it's at the same ratio, you're going to have more people doing this. There aren't that many Jews out there, and there are way more Muslims. So should we remigrate them? I don't think that I don't want to see Britain send every Muslim back to their country. I think that's a little bit overkill, but I think they should remigrate every single migrant. Every single person who showed up there and is seeking asylum, I would send every single one of them back with no exceptions. Maybe there's a handful of them that are receiving life-saving health care that, like, you know, I think it would just be a wrong thing to just send them out where they would die. But in a general sense, yeah, I would send them all back. I would send 99% of them back. I would easily say that. If you're legal deported, yeah, that's what I would do. And I think that if you did that, it would basically solve this problem. You'd still have it a little bit, sure. But, like, the severity of it would tremendously diminish. That's where I'm at. Why don't we see the same levels in Christianity? I think there's a lot of reasons. Number one, I think Christianity's gone through a lot of different reformations over the years, and I think it's been more modernized. And I think also another reason is because you're inside of a Christian culture and a Christian nation. You're probably, like, in the same way that you're not seeing a lot of these terrorist attacks that are happening in Saudi Arabia, as far as I know, right? And so because you're having people that are alienated in another culture, I think that creates a compounding effect that makes people even more radicalized. That's the reason. I think that's another reason.
And the investigation is
And I think also another reason, too, is because a lot of forms of extremist Islam or extremist Muslims aren't criticized in the same way that extremists of other religions are criticized. And I think that that is also another big reason. It's because people can't criticize and stop the extremism before it kind of goes out of control. And I was talking about that earlier with intersectionality. You see what I'm saying?
Being led by counter-terrorist police. As has been confirmed by CT policing, we believe that...
I apologize for pausing so much, but, like, let me give you another example. Like the guy that shot up the Mormon church the other day. I don't know, like, what his religious affiliation was. I'm not sure. But, I mean, that's an example of somebody who effectively is doing the same thing as the guy in Manchester, right? He's going into a church and killing a bunch of people. So I think that this kind of stuff does happen, and it will happen across the board. But the issue is that how do you address it and make it happen less? He hated Mormons? Yeah, exactly.
The identity of the offender...
You equivocating 1 to 100? I don't know. I don't think we have for every one. I mean, do we have that many? I don't really think it's 1 to 100. I mean, I guess, like, maybe if you include 9/11, maybe, but, like, I don't know.
Has been established, but until we are certain of this fact, it is premature to set out this detail at this juncture.
Attacks like this are felt far beyond where they happen. The Prime Minister offering this message to the Jewish community.
On behalf of our country, I express my solidarity, but also my sadness that you still have to live with these fears. Nobody.
Skip.
Of love.
Already saw it.
Security at synagogues had already been increased. The fear of just this sort of attack was real. And here, in this community...
And I do want to say that, unfortunately, I think the way that Israel conducts itself, especially, and there's one more point about this, the attacker's name is literally Jihad. I had to read it twice, too, okay?
Officials say a man attacked people at a synagogue in Manchester, killing at least 2 people and injuring 3
You're
others.
right. Maybe they got DM in the background,
As worshippers
right? I don't know.
gathered on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar, an act of violence unfolding at this synagogue in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's horrifying. It is horrifying. Unfortunately, in the last year, we've witnessed a whole load of
Don't know that? No, I don't know that. You're right.
Attacks against the Jewish people.
Police say a man drove his car toward people at the Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue in Manchester before beginning a stabbing spree.
Said being an auspicious high holy day, we've all fasted since 6:30 last night. You want to feel secure, you want to be able to go to places.
Greater Manchester police saying the suspect was shot and killed.
Yep.
The bomb unit called in due to what they say are suspicious items on his person. Videos showing officers responding to the scene, bystanders appearing stunned, police telling them to back away.
As soon as I heard shots, I did say, oh my God, that are shots. Then we heard plenty of sirens.
The Israeli embassy in the UK saying that such an act of violence should be perpetrated on the holiest day of the Jewish calendar in a place of prayer and community is abhorrent and deeply distressing. The British Prime Minister leaving a summit in Denmark to return to London for an emergency meeting with senior officials.
The attack in Manchester this morning is absolutely shocking, and all of our thoughts are with those affected. I'm already able to say that additional police assets are being deployed to synagogues across the country, and we will do everything.
I hope that the taxpayers over there realize that all of the different guys that are being deployed to these synagogues cost the taxpayer money. And this is costing the government money, and it's raising your taxes, And every time that they pay a police officer overtime to protect the synagogue because, you know, some crazy asshole wants to blow it up, that's money that they're not spending on education, food, or housing for their citizens. It all comes out of the same bucket, and that bucket comes out of your pocket.
Community safe.
King Charles also reacting, saying he and his wife are deeply shocked and saddened by this,
shocked?
And that they appreciate
the
saddened,
swift response
yes.
Shocked,
by emergency
not so much.
services. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
What should he do then? He should try to aggressively remove all of the migrants, asylum seekers, and people that are in the country illegally, and do that as quickly as possible. That way you can minimize the amount of issues that are happening, and you can more effectively allocate police resources to the remaining problem people that are still in the country. That's what he should do. Because it would be easier to deal with it. Like, think about it like this, right? If you have 1,000 problems and 1,000 people, well, it's one person to each problem. But if you have 100 problems and 1,000 people, well, then you can have 10 people on each problem, and there's a much higher chance that problem's going to be solved. You see what I'm saying? Not going to happen, but yeah. Well, like somebody asked me a question. You're aware U.S. Congress is 90% AIPAC funded. Israel just bought TikTok and is heavily censoring. They've claimed they are in a propaganda war. So that's the next point that I'm making. And I do want to say that I think that Israel and their overbearing attempt to try to control American media and American discourse and social media, I think that it is radicalizing people against Jews categorically. I'm not saying that this is something that Jews deserve. I actually don't think that it's fair, but I think that in observing it, this is an accurate observation. It is creating a backlash.